Hello, everybody. This is going to be a reading from this week's assignment. I'm in seventh period's classroom. You'll, of course, go to yours. And I'm going to go to our reading by clicking on the classwork tab at the top of the screen. Our assignment this week is in CSI Investigation Part 2. And the reading is right here, Maya Theory for PDF. So here's our reading. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and try to make this take up the screen for everybody. Let me move this over here. And let's do this. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to turn off my spotlight so that you can see all of the words nice and brightly. And we'll begin the reading right here. This is Theory 4, Disaster or Environmental Change. Surrounded by pyramids, plazas, ball courts, and government buildings, the Mayans discussed philosophy, developed an accurate solar year calendar, and relished a thick, bitter beverage made from cacao beans, the world's first hot chocolate. Farmers were riding high as well, turning hillsides into terraced fields to feed the burgeoning population. Then came the bust, a decline that lasted at least 2 centuries. By 1100, the residents of once thriving Maya cities seemed to have just up and left. But where did they flee to, and why? The latest Maya climate change study, released in 2012, analyzes stalagmites in a cave in Belize, those lumpy rocky spires on cave floors, to link climate swings to explain the fall of the empire. Formed by water and minerals dripping from above, stalagmites grow quicker in rainier years, giving scientists a reliable record of historical precipitation trends. One sample used in the new study, for example, documents fluctuations as far back as 2,000 years ago. Among the trends revealed by the Belizean stalagmites, quote, the early classic Maya period was unusually wet, wetter than the previous 1,000 years, according to study leader Douglas Kennett, an environmental anthropologist at Pennsylvania State University. During this time, the population increased rapidly, aided by a surge in agriculture. During the wettest decades, from 440 to 660, cities sprouted. All the hallmarks of Maya civilization, sophisticated political systems, monumental architecture, complex religion, came into full flower during this era. But this 200-year-long wet spell turned out to be an anomaly. When the climate pendulum swung back, hard times followed. Mayan systems were founded on those high rainfall patterns, Kennett said. They could not support themselves when patterns changed. The following centuries, from about 660 to 1000, were characterized by repeated and at times extreme drought. Agriculture declined, and at the same time, social conflict rose, Kennett said. The Maya religious and political system was based on the belief that rulers were in direct communication with the gods. When these divine connections failed to produce rainfall and good harvests, tensions likely developed. Within the scant 25 years between 750 and 775, for example, 39 embattled rulers seized power in the empire. Evidence of rivalry, war, and strategic alliances, according to Kennett's study. But times would get even harder. The stalagmite record suggests that between 1020 and 1100, the region suffered its longest dry spell of the last 2,000 years. With it, the study suggests, came Maya crop failure, famine, mass migration, and death. By the time Spanish conquistadors arrived in the 16th century, inland Maya populations had decreased by 90%, and urban centers had been largely abandoned. Farms had become overgrown, and cities reclaimed by the forest. There is an image in the center of this article, and the text reads, Stalagmites such as these were analyzed to show an excessive wet period during the Mayan Golden Age. They also show an incredible drought immediately following. That concludes the reading for this week. That is theory number 4, disaster or environmental change. Thanks, everybody.